There it is. Yeah. Live from your ESG Pope-filled DEI crawler. I don't know. What does that mean? Pope-filled?
Wouldn't it be a crawler-filled Pope?
It's a Business Pants Friday show here at April 25th Studios featuring analyst whole Matt Moscardi. Woo, he's back. Yeah.
It's a bit of a lie because we're live streaming on Thursday and we're releasing the show on Friday.
Don't tell anyone. On today's weekly wrap-up, the death of the Doge Pope.
Oh.
Subaru's new flip phone, and blaming China is finally cool again.
Yeah! It's been a while since we've gotten to blame China for everything.
It's funny how it kind of mirrors administrations. Funny how that works.
It's not that funny, actually.
Our show today is being sponsored by FreeFloatAnalytics.com, the only platform measuring board power, connections, and performance for free.
I love that.
And I will say, in case you're confused by the syntax of that statement, not only is it the only platform that measures board power, connections, and performance.
Correct. Yeah.
End of
At
sentence.
All, right.
It's also the only one that does that for free, right?
Yeah. So it's all
really, it's the only platform that does anything for free. I mean, no one does anything for free.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if they do, the data sucks. It's just like, it's kind of like dated and weird and
Wait, are you
patchy.
saying that Free Float's data sucks?
No, I'm saying Free Float Analytics data works.
So now you got to say they're the only platform measuring board power and connections and performance for free and doesn't suck.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have, like, if someone stepped down yesterday, there's a bit of a lag. It has to wait for its bigger data vendors to give it information. But yeah,
it's just a little baby company. But you can make this baby company a big company by buying their stuff. That's what they're here for. That's why they're advertising on this show. Oh, are we doing it now?
Yeah,
all right, let's
I don't want to hear about your advertising.
What are we doing first? Story of the week?
Well, that's what we do. Story of the week. All right, we missed a few weeks, but I am just focusing on this week. I didn't actually go back. We actually, if you're interested in hearing the wrap-up of all the stories when Matt was gone, we did a 16-hour show this week that we already released.
I think it clocked in at 36 hours by the time we were done.
So here's the story of the week. This is a difficult week. I don't know why. Even though I felt like there was a lot going on, but I didn't really know how to land on anything. So I'm going to start here. CEOs to the rescue.
Nope.
According to business reports, a trio of top CEOs warned Trump that tariffs will empty store shelves. They're really crediting some of his CEO buddies, basically telling him to stop being an idiot. That's because after they met, I'll get to who they were. After they met, basically Trump came out and basically changed his mind on most tariffs, or
everything
at least said
he's done for the most part. Yeah,
said that now they're basically negotiating with China. Although I think China kind of won that by saying like we're not playing your dumb games. But also he said he's not going to fire the head of the Federal Reserve, and that they're claiming that this is from the CEOs. And here are the three CEOs. Here are the top three CEOs in the world. Here are the men, of course, the white men who rule the universe, and they are. In no particular order, and I'll give you a little bit of information about each of them. Target CEO Brian Cornell, which is a great choice because he is the guy, he's Mr. The gay pride display is too expensive because there are too many colors. He's that guy.
Is he woke or anti-woke now? I don't...
Well, okay, so he hung up some rainbows, but then the Bud Light shooters told him that rainbows were bad, and then he got rid of them. And then he tried to hire black people and people of color and women, and they were like, that's not good. That's not
so he
cool.
hung up the rainbows, and then everyone stopped buying it. So it was like three guys shooting Bud Light cans were upset. He hung up the rainbows, and then 1 million people stopped going.
Meanwhile, he's in so much trouble that he actually called someone who was famous from the 1990s, a man named Al Sharpton, and he did that because he wants Al to solve his problems of being basically kind of a racist. He's like,
and congrats to Al for saying you suck.
Yeah,
that's basically all he had to say.
So this is the guy. That
one of the trio
who is suffering. I mean, his corporation is suffering. But I will add this: his CEO. Pay ratio, maybe this is what Trump was looking at, is 719 to 1.
Yeah, baby.
So that's kind of cool, right? I mean, he makes as much as the median worker before I think he even parks his car in the garage in the first day of the year.
No, come on. He has to work for 2 solid hours before he gets as much as the median.
Second guy, Home Depot CEO Ted Decker.
Oh.
Who Charlie Munger, God rest his soul, would probably hate because he actually got a BA in English. Do you know that?
Oh, no.
Yeah. So maybe he's a bit of a poetry reader.
How could you be a top CEO with a BA in English?
His CEO pay ratio is almost too woke. I don't know. It's 443 to 1. That just seems...
Oh, I mean, get a raise, Ted.
Yeah.
Get it while it's getting good.
But the real champion here in this list is, of course, the man who runs a family empire, and he is the wonderful, great CEO Doug McMillon of Walmart.
Finally. There we go. Some real CEOs in here.
And I respect Trump picking him because this is the guy who basically announced a few months ago that racism has been solved because back in 2020, 2021, he was basically saying that systemic racism is the one of the main issues in our culture today.
In the world.
But now he's saying, we figured it out. We're getting rid of our DEI.
Yeah, finally.
And his CEO to pay ratio is a beautiful 976 to 1. Congratulations.
Wow.
Yeah. Congratulations for hating all of your workers, Doug
He's
McMillon.
still munching on a bagel before when he gets paid the median.
Yeah, but the real question is, why did they send Doug? Why not send someone from the Walton family? Wouldn't that have been like a more powerful...
The Waltons are brilliant now because they still retain control of the company, but no one talks about the Walton family.
No, except for us.
Except for us, because the influence numbers suggest that Doug McMillon, while one of the trio of top CEOs, quote unquote, only has 6% influence of his own company.
And look, it's not to say that his voice is not important in the boardroom, but if Stuart Walton, he's 42-year-old Stuart Walton, heir to the throne of everything. If he threw a fit, I think Doug would be listening. Let's just say, right?
You think?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
I do. That's the top. That's one of the top stories. Second big story. You're gonna hate this one. Elon Musk says he's stepping back from Doge, supposedly. So, which of course, causes the Tesla stock to go one way or the other. Every day it's going backwards or forwards.
Do we have to talk about this one?
You want me to skip over it?
I mean, the highlights are he's going to spend a couple days a week for the rest of the term, right?
This is why. No. Yes, this is why I picked the story. This is a stupid. Any investor in Tesla is any governance expert who talks about Tesla. This is how idiotic the whole situation is. He's still, but even though he's stepping back from Doge, he's still planning to spend a day or two per week for the next 4 years while he's already running 17 other companies. The whole thing is a joke. It's a joke.
Also, we could just skip it because you can't trust a thing that guy says. He's never said anything he sticks to.
I knew you'd say that too, but I was struggling to pick big stories. How about this? How about the third story of the week? A big, fat, nerdy ESG story. I love this one.
There's one of these every week.
Yeah. Business Roundtable urges SEC to amend proxy voting process, but maybe not. I know what you're thinking. Business Roundtable is very pro-stakeholder capitalism, right?
That's what I was
That's
thinking.
what they announced in, was it 2019 they announced that?
Yeah, they announced that it wasn't just a corporation to serve shareholders. It needs to serve stakeholders, and they told us which ones.
And one of the champions of that at the time was, I think, who was the chair of the Business Roundtable was Doug McMillon, if I'm not mistaken.
The chair then was Jamie Dimon.
Okay,
and
but
Doug McMillon immediately took over right after
jumped
that and
on those
signed
quotes.
it. He was on the board. He signed it. So they're loving it.
So here's a quote out of the Business Roundtable: "The current state of the proxy process is unsustainable." I don't know how they have information to prove that. They said companies are being forced to divert significant resources and attention toward responding to a flood of ideology-driven shareholder proposals. Resources that would be better spent driving long-term value creation, Matt. And again, this is kind of ironic, a fun quinky-dink of a headline, because ExxonMobil just announced last week, that for the first time in 25 years, they have zero shareholder proposals, zero. So, I don't know what Business Roundtable is paying attention to, but
I'm pretty sure that the like total number of shareholder proposals dropped from 2023 to 2024.
And I'm looking at all the big ones for our other show, Proxy Countdown, and they're continuing to go down.
So we know that number is actually going down. So, and we also know that the SEC itself estimated it was like $150,000 per proposal to actually deal with, right?
Which is
basically nothing. The most proposals any company really gets, let's say if we include the ones that get tossed and include the ones that get negotiated out, let's say there's 20. Let's just say there's 20.
20 proposals?
I mean, including the ones that get tossed and the ones that get negotiated away, right? Whatever. Let's say there's 20.
Yeah, you're estimating high.
Let's say it costs them $3 million a year.
$3 million.
Doug McMillon made $27 million in his just summary compensation last year.
Yeah,
just summary comp. Well, you don't think which significant resource are we talking about is getting diverted?
Here's the other headline that Business Roundtable, this is also from this week, that somehow they didn't include this in their press release. Median U.S. CEO pay hits record $17 million.
There it is.
On soaring stock awards. So, I don't know what's going on. Business Roundtable, I don't really know what's going on with you. I mean, maybe you're just doing the whole middle school debate club like all the other CEOs, and because this makes you sound stupid. The proxy process is unsustainable.
Unsustainable, yeah. That's unsustainable.
So the AI that you're using now to go through these proxies, which is probably doing 98% of the work, that's not sustainable?
I mean, today in this administration, you call your friend Gus, who works at the SEC, and just be like, Gus, exclude this one, and that's unsustainable to you.
I mean, you're probably using one of your interns in your legal department to take.
Not to mention
this.
The most recent data suggests that 40% of shareholder proposals right now are anti-woke.
Yeah, can we just be honest, Business Roundtable? Can we just say we don't believe in stakeholder capitalism anymore, and now is the time for a war on shareholders, on investors?
Yeah, we don't believe in shareholder capitalism either.
This is a soft launch to what we hope is getting rid of all voting and all annual meetings in the future. This is what we're trying to do. So
I just think it's funny that we went from the one extreme, which is pretending to care about stakeholders, to the other extreme, which is pretending that shareholders should even exist, right?
Yeah. Their presence creates an unsustainable.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, I like that. That's the third story. And finally, the fourth story, this was a bit of a reach, but I thought I'd throw it in there because I know that you're from Rhode Island, so you must be Catholic. So I just threw this in here. The ESG Pope, Pope Francis, has died.
Oh, you mean the actual Pope who did ESG?
Pope. But
I thought you were referring to a person who is known as the ESG Pope.
Well, I'm calling him
like a rock star,
the ESG Pope, because there have been hundreds of articles over the past 5 years, basically yelling at the dude for being so pro ESG. So I just felt like he is the ESG Pope, is he not?
I just saw the headline in the New York Times this morning about progressive Christian or Catholics are now worried about being Catholic because their Pope died. Yeah.
Well, he's a Jesuit, right? And the Jesuits have a long history of kind of
what do I know?
ESG-ish.
I'm an atheist. What the hell do I know?
All right, okay. I thought you could play along with this. Those are the four stories.
So my four options here are, and it's really three because I'm not going to choose the Pope. CEOs to the rescue. Elon Musk stepping back from Doge and Business Roundtable.
ESG Pope. The ESG Pope.
I cannot choose Elon Musk because big fat
yeah,
liar.
I don't
right?
know.
There's no way he's a big fat liar.
No.
CEOs definitely did not come to the rescue because they elected this moron. Like,
that's the other part of that story that no one wanted to talk about.
Like, can we just admit that you people are the ones who helped put him there, and now you people are coming to the rescue? It's manufactured crisis. So I'm not in on that. Which leaves me with the Business Roundtable.
Really?
My favorite thing. I mean, come on. Yeah. They're finally coming out of the woodworks. We haven't heard from them in a while.
No. Yeah.
And their first sort of like big splash of 2025 is let's stop having shareholder proposals at all. They're unsustainable.
It's too much. It's too much.
That's my story.
And I got to say that your estimate of even if they were dealing with 20 proposals is absurdly high. I bet you it's
absurd.
like 5. I bet you it's like 5 proposals.
I mean, literally, like we did the math on this and before, and it's basically no resources. Everybody's using boilerplate language. They do the same thing. It takes 40 seconds.
And frankly, I don't even believe the estimate that it's $150,000 per proposal. Nobody believes that. Yeah, because if you're in this business long enough, it's the same, as you just pointed out, it's the same damn proposal. God love you, John Chevedden. And Jim McRitchie, and I don't know if God loves the anti-woke proponents, but God might love them. But it's all the same boilerplate nonsense. You know what they're talking about. So I think that these CEOs can handle it. That's all I'm going to say.
Don't they have like an auto responder like this, so they get the proposal?
I like that.
They've seen all of them, and it just says your
out of office
rejected.
Yeah,
like that's
because the CEO's on vacation.
Yeah, they just auto respond to all of them. All right, let's do Goodliest. I only got one.
I only have 2, and I don't even have any extra fluff.
And me neither. There were others that I considered.
Give me one. Can you think of one you considered? Because I don't really like
the Paris
yours.
Biking one, like that.
What's that?
Like there's. Apparently, in Paris, they are
doing something right.
They're closing streets to cars.
Yes, I love that.
And they're replacing parking spots with trees.
I love it. Yeah.
And everything, there's nothing to not like about that, right? The downside has been that rush hour bike traffic has doubled. Which is an upside because it's like it's great for the environment, it's great for your legs
too,
but it's really annoying for anybody who's like walking. You know, because these bikes just go crazy.
As opposed to the cars? As opposed to,
I don't know.
The vehicle traffic?
The other one was like Microsoft actually signed a carbon removal deal where they're trying to do carbon capture.
Who are you? The responsible investor now? Is that who you're working for?
I'm just telling you, those are the ones I skipped over. I didn't include those because I felt like, the Paris one's cool, but like, all right, so 10 guys are riding bikes more. Like, I need to celebrate something bigger. So I couldn't find much.
I got one for you. I got 2 actually, but I'm gonna start with one that I know you're gonna. This is pandering to you, but I also love it. Subaru is bringing back physical knobs and buttons in its cars.
Do we need any more?
No, I
mean that's the best news I've heard
Subaru.
This year.
Yeah.
Thank you, Subaru.
Yeah.
Mine was Tesla whistleblower wins legal battle against Elon Musk.
What was? Do you know what that battle was about?
It was the battle about the swastikas on the wall and the guy who was discriminated against. He won his lawsuit. So
is this the guy who they? No, this is not the guy that Elon Musk threatened to deport because they pointed out some safety concern. No, okay.
No, not that guy. Different guy. But I just like,
thanks for clarifying. Yeah.
Anybody wins a battle against the swastika, it feels like good in 2025.
I don't like the way that sounds. I feel.
I'm just saying. It's like you got to celebrate the wins you get.
Yeah, I got a real one that you can actually feel good about. Twinkies' new owner, although I should have looked up who Twinkies' new owner is. I don't even know. Twinkies, you know what Twinkies are, right?
Yeah, obviously.
You're from Rhode Island. Yeah, that was the school lunch probably.
That was basically what we had.
Yeah. Twinkies' new owner courts a novel group of snackers, stoners.
Wow, you did get good ones.
I mean, Is that a novel group of snackers? Isn't that
no,
the
it is
group
not
of
a novel
snackers?
group. Like, if you're eating a Twinkie at all, you're already halfway stoned, even if you're not. Like,
if you're over 8 years old, and you're eating a Twinkie, you must be stoned. I mean,
oh man, this is actually hard to pick a winner because your two are really good.
I think you know what the real winner is, though.
Yeah, the real winner is physical knobs. I love a good knob. I'll take a knob all day. And I don't mean it in the British way. So
no,
don't
I don't
write.
know. He doesn't.
If you're listening to the show, don't be writing me about knobs, the British
Subaru,
knobs.
that's not a British company. Right, exactly.
No, they're not. All right, that
Come on,
leaves.
let's move on.
Now we're on me.
Yes, now bring us back down again. Make us angry.
That was good, though, because I did feel good for a split second.
Twinkies and knobs, yes. Come on, bring us down.
All right, so I've got 5.
Oh, Jesus. Is Jesus one of them?
No, Jesus is
'Cause
none.
Easter just
he could
happened.
He could be assholiest of the week.
Yeah.
He is not.
Okay.
All right, number 1, OpenAI.
Oh, that's an easy pick, yeah.
Do we need to go do I need to say more? I
No.
can say more.
Did I already cover? We covered on the show this week, right? That the horrible change in their willingness to release critical risk models, like
Yeah.
Okay.
We did cover that on Tuesday. If you don't know what Damien's talking about,
just get the show, download the show.
Download the show. They changed their threshold for what is dangerous misinformation. They had levels like low risk, medium risk, high risk, and then they had critical risk. And they decided that in some circumstances, they're happy to release a model that has critical risk of misinformation and horrible effects if someone else has already released a similar model. That was what they said.
And yesterday, they were only allowed to, their own rules would prevent them from releasing anything above a medium risk. But now, now they're skipping over, Matt, as you point out, they're skipping over high risk is okay and critical risk, both okay.
They just go all the way.
All the way.
Here's the funny part.
Yeah.
I actually used ChatGPT. I took Damien's headlines for the week.
Oh, good. I don't have to be here. Yeah.
I put all the content from the headlines into ChatGPT.
Sure.
And I asked ChatGPT.
What does that mean? Is that like a toaster? Like, what are you talking about? You put it into ChatGPT.
I mean, you like copy paste some stuff. You just drop a file in there. You copy. And I said,
"Isn't life amazing? Mm-hmm.
Give me a top 5 list of assholes for the week based on the content in here."
I love this.
I wanted ChatGPT's number 1 option for asshole was OpenAI. I'm not kidding.
Does
ChatGPT?
You should have asked. Does ChatGPT know that OpenAI is the company that releases ChatGPT?
I didn't ask that. But here, I'll read to you what ChatGPT said about itself.
Go ahead.
In fact, this is verbatim. This is literally what ChatGPT wrote. I didn't write any of this. This is what it said. It said the headline that they chose to highlight as the asshole was OpenAI's "Safety is Optional" strategy. Is the name of their
That's
asshole.
terrible. Yeah, it's frightening.
And then it's 5 bullet points. Launched GPT 4.1, which is the one I was talking to, GPT 4.1, with 0 safety report, claiming it's not frontier. That's
I don't know what that
one
means,
reason.
but yeah, okay.
Updated its preparedness framework to say it might lower safety standards if rivals do.
That's frightening. I hate that so much.
Former staff filed an amicus brief supporting Elon Musk's lawsuit, saying for-profit incentives undermine safety. So their own ex-staff is saying that they're likely to undermine safety.
They're trying to prevent the company from losing its not-for-profit mandate. Yeah.
They stopped safety testing of fine-tuned models unless released openly. And then this is ChatGPT's like editorializing. This is text version of if the other kids jumped off a bridge. ...
Yeah, I was thinking it more like Mary Barra at GM gets rid of like safety glass and seatbelts, and so you're like, okay, well, we should get rid of
that's right,
seatbelts, right? Who needs them?
If Mary Barra says it's fine to have no seatbelts, why do we have seatbelts? That's basically what.
Right. We don't need we don't need floorboards. We don't need windows.
Well, I mean, Fred Flintstone didn't have floors at all.
Right. Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Ran with his
yes.
feet. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
So we don't. What do we need that for?
Yeah.
Yeah. So On top of that, the other OpenAI headline was OpenAI considering its own social network to compete with Elon Musk's X.
Wait, so ChatGPT considered that an asshole move that OpenAI was going to open?
No,
up
I added that.
You
one.
added
That's
that.
I
Okay.
added that one.
Yeah, I don't like that either. Yeah, we don't need more social media networks. We don't need more, Sam.
Like Sam Altman is another college dropout tech bro.
I forget that. Yeah.
He dropped out of Stanford. He never got a bachelor's degree.
Right.
Now, look, getting a bachelor's degree is not the most important thing in the world. I'm just saying, why do all of the people who are like middle school,
debatable,
wispy stash middle school manflakes who are running the world into the ground, humanity into the ground, why did they all drop out of college? Every single one of them.
Probably because of the required ethics course.
Yes, I believe that's true.
Yeah.
So do you remember when OpenAI had a board? Remember that moment when they had a board that nobody liked?
The moment that we celebrated for months, and the rest of the world was angry at them, and then they realized like a month after that we were right all along.
That's correct. Yeah. And then everybody said we were right.
They're whoops. Yeah, go ahead.
Number 2.
So this is the number 2 asshole. The first asshole was OpenAI. Okay,
just OpenAI.
Okay.
Number 2 asshole, blaming China.
I love this.
It's just 3 headlines, and you don't really need to say much more. Elon Musk worries Chinese companies will fill out the world's top 10 robot makers, but claims Tesla is and will stay number 1. So are we afraid? Are we not afraid? What does that mean?
I have the same feeling I had about the Business Roundtable not being able to support this idea that proxy voting is going to become unsustainable. Where's the proof that China is going to take over the world and kill us all with their robots? Yeah. Why is that the premise? Do they think that the Godzilla movies is real life and that it's from China and that's what China is doing? They're going to send Godzilla around to step on us? I don't get this weird old-fashioned racist trope about China. Explain it. Do you understand it? Why? Why are Chinese robots bad? I don't understand.
Isn't it just old-fashioned racism? Well,
I just don't get it. I'm sorry, Elon. I just don't get you.
That the
I'd be more afraid of a white South African guy, honestly, making robots than a Chinese guy.
I think we're afraid that the eyes of the robots will hypnotize us into being communists.
That's what's happening now, right?
That I believe there are reports of hypnotic robots turning South African man babies into communists. That's what they're afraid of.
Yeah.
All right, here's the other headline. Google says DOJ's proposal for breakup would harm U.S. in global race with China.
Yeah, right. Sure. Yeah. So by handicapping a big tech company over there in California, it's definitely gonna harm all of us because of China, right? I understand
because China.
That makes sense.
That's right.
Because no one else.
You read that right.
Because Google, no one else is going to step up to build a crappy browser or figure out how to put ads on things, or I don't even know what you do anymore.
Nobody. It's not possible for someone else to do that.
No.
And then the last one was trade war woes. Boeing stock sinks after China reportedly blocks plane deliveries.
Well, I like that one. Yeah.
Well, but the funny part about that one is it does feel blamey, like China blocks our plane deliveries and it's killing our company.
Are they not supposed to fight back, or what are they supposed to do?
Did they not? Did whoever wrote the article? Did they not read the first part, which was Boeing sucks at making planes?
Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah.
I mean, are they? They're blocking them. They could be blocking them just to screw with Trump, but more likely, their planes suck.
Are they not? But are they not supposed to create their own leverage against Trump? Or are they just supposed to sit around and not do anything?
They're supposed to take it. They're supposed to take it. I believe didn't Zuckerberg just was on trial for his antitrust trial. He appeared and in his comments they were talking about he's been talking about China for years. So it brought me back to those blame China days, TikTok China days.
There also was, I think, embedded in one of the articles about OpenAI basically getting rid of its safety framework was also blaming China because they were worried that if competitors were putting out models that could also disrupt the kind of global order. So they too blame China there.
Let's summarize all of it for anyone who's listening. And it's billionaire man babies who act like China are afraid of China. That's really all that's happening, isn't it? Like these are dual class dictators.
Yeah. Guys, if you can't handle it, maybe you just step down, sell your shares, go live a nice, happy life on a yacht somewhere. Let other companies give it a shot, right? Yeah. I mean, if you can't handle it, you can't handle the competition.
You can't handle the competition, just get out
China's
of the way.
China's like scaring you. Just give up. We don't need you anymore. We're done.
Yeah, quit.
Maybe go. Maybe go back to college, get your degree.
No, shut up.
Read some Jane Eyre. Yeah. Right.
That's so woke. All right, number 3.
Go ahead.
So we got OpenAI and blaming China. Number 3, wispy stash middle school manflakes who are going to make you like them whether or not you want to.
I don't understand that. Go ahead.
All right, well, look, there were like 10 headlines this week, and while I was gone, about these fucking manflakes who are just demanding that you like them.
It's middle school. It's how it kind of the social order worked in middle school.
Here's a good one, right? Elon Musk reportedly sends DMs on Twitter offering women the chance to have his babies.
That sounds terrible.
He's just sending messages to people being like, "Have my babies, please." Why would you not?
I actually believe that headline to be real.
Well, he also there were headlines this week about how he killed the followers and the views of far right, like super conservative influencers who didn't agree with him, who called them out.
Well, it's like Matt, it's his company.
Yeah, but we're gonna he already forced himself on everybody's feeds. Like
his company.
He's the most viewed guy, not because he's interesting.
It's his company.
Because it's his company.
It's company.
Like literally
free speech, Matt. It's free speech. It's his
give
company.
me attention. Stop. Just get me the attention. Here's another one. Tesla really wants the Cybertruck to be a working man's truck.
Have you ever seen a Cybertruck, Matt?
Yes, I have.
There's no chance. There's
no chance.
None.
Elon, have you ever met a working man?
Yeah, or have you ever stepped on anything that's not pavement? I mean,
seriously, it's like
those trucks are built like that for a reason. I mean, they have a function.
Can you imagine like a rancher in Idaho with a Cybertruck?
Yeah. No, I cannot.
It's so stupid.
No.
This is the same time that Elon. Here's a headline: Elon, quote, rattled as he's brutally trolled in gaming live stream from private jet.
Yeah, that was a big story while you were away. So I guess what happened was that he was playing a stupid game on his private jet, and they were all making fun of him because he sucks. And then he blamed Starlink, of all things, a company he
his
owns,
own company,
that had crappy service, and he had to leave the game. That's so. He's cell phone. It's a cell phone. Yeah.
He went online and he tried to play this game at like Path of Exile, and he claimed that he was like one of the best players in the world.
Which is weird. That claim. It's a weird claim. And you know what? And if it was true, I wouldn't even admit it, because you have investors worried all over the globe that you don't spend enough time at your companies. And here you are admitting that you spend 100 hours a day getting good at games.
So the estimates to get as good as his character was literally it would take you 40 hours a day or something. Like it was some more hours than there are in the day. So everyone who plays the game speculated that he was just cheating. He just hired somebody to play, and then when he tried to play live for the first time and show everyone his character was ridiculously good in the game, like the best ever, and he didn't know what the buttons did. Like he was literally trying to figure out how to move
and that's the
play
part,
the game.
That's the part I actually believe of this story, because I tried to play Madden football for the first time in 20 years the other day. It took me 4 hours to learn how to hand the ball off. Everything is so confusing now. It's like there's 27 buttons. You have to like bend your thumb under your index finger. Like there's just no way. He's no way.
I mean, imagine if like your son played Madden for 3 months straight and had an epic team, and then handed you the controller, and you live stream saying, "I'm so good at this game, watch me play," and you didn't know how to hand off the ball.
It sounds like his daddy Trump with the golf tournaments.
Well, then Elon went and live streamed again from his jet, and to quote unquote test Starlink. And all people did in the chat, because these games are live streamed, there's live chat. They just spammed the chat saying, "You're a loser. How do you live with yourself? I can feel your sadness."
Yeah.
So much of they did it so much. No one could have it. He tried to respond a couple times. It didn't work. They did it so much that he abruptly turned the game off, said Starlink's not working, and then signed off.
Well,
I'm a big petulant baby.
I'm pretty old, so there's probably like 3 people who are going to understand this reference. But this reminds me when I was a kid, we had a gaming system called Atari, and then when kids would be getting beaten pretty bad, they would like kind of lean over and hit the reset button. Like they would like, you know what I mean? Like they would just start the game over because they were childish. No.
This is the equivalent of when I was like 12 and I was playing Nintendo. Mm-hmm. And I would lose, and I would throw the controller at the wall. That's what sadly.
But here's the sad thing about this whole story. Is that
the whole story is the sad thing about the story.
He has investors screaming at him. He has Americans screaming at him. He's shutting down school lunch he's shutting down everything. He's firing everybody. That doesn't have any effect on him. But if a bunch of other like childish gamers start yelling at, that's the thing that he responds to.
He threw a real fit. Yeah. There was another headline that said his cuts are creating starvation in Sudan. Like he's literally starving kids. And this headline sums it up. Huge number of people who used to like Elon Musk now detest him, polling shows.
Of course, yeah. I mean...
but there's just so many stories about these like people demanding to be like Meta co-sponsored White House Easter egg roll
really
in the middle of their antitrust trial, right?
Yeah, well, let's not forget what else Mark Zuckerberg has done. He appointed Trump buddy Dana White, right? UFC guy.
Yeah, he did that a couple months ago. Yeah,
and now I think a week or 2 ago,
Dina Powell McCormick.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Another person from the Trump administration. I mean, Mark knows what he's doing, right? He knows it's like you just have to kiss up. You just have to kiss up.
Just please, Mr. Trump, will you like me now? Invite me. Yeah. And then Trump himself just spent yesterday. He lashed out at a British hedge fund.
Yeah.
For shorting Truth Social. They basically took a position saying
which is
Truth
legal,
Social,
right?
Which is totally legal, totally able to do. And Trump Media, the company, asked the SEC to investigate the hedge fund for the short, right?
Matt, there's good news because I've been covering all the SEC investigations, and they have basically canceled every investigation since
you fired them
Trump took
all.
over.
Yeah.
So no, but they have a completely empty docket, so they actually have time to investigate this one.
No, but there's no investigators.
That's true.
I think they fired all the investigators.
Well, can't one of Elon Musk's like 12-year-old interns do it?
Yeah, Doge, big balls, maybe.
Sure.
So these middle school men who are going to make you like them is number 3.
I don't like that one. Can we move on? I don't like that. I don't like number 3.
Number 4. Jokes on you, Luigi. United Health is the asshole.
Oh, the guy. I thought you meant the Nintendo character. So the guy who
Luigi
murdered
Mangione, the United Health Group killer.
Yeah.
Here's the headline. United Health stock craters as CEO calls disappointing results unusual and unacceptable.
Unusual, yeah, okay.
Followed by this headline, United Health CEO's pay jumps 12%.
Okay, there you go, of course.
I mean, like, come on. And not to mention the fact that they spent $1.7 million on executive security.
That's it. I mean, it shows you the ego of Mark Zuckerberg. They routinely spend over $20 million for Mark.
He's doing it wrong.
At United Health, somebody was literally murdered. An executive was literally murdered in Manhattan, and yet still Mark is spending more than.
But United Health is so tone deaf that they gave the CEO in the year another executive was killed for them being absolute shitheads.
Matt, you're cute.
Like 12% raise in the middle of the most disappointing results. The stock dropped 22% in one day after the results.
Unfortunately,
22% drop.
It's only companies like ours that are paying attention to this stuff. So yeah.
And then finally, how about rewriting history?
Okay, that could be good.
I literally hate this.
Yeah.
There's very few things I would say I actually hate. You know, you say I hate this and like you're kind of exaggerating.
Yeah, like you don't actually hate gum. I don't believe you actually hate gum.
I don't mind gum.
You don't mind gum.
The reality. I hate this.
All right, go ahead.
Here's the headline. How did Elon Musk make his money? Okay.
Okay. What's that?
An innocuous headline. It's
from Yahoo
out of
Finance.
Yahoo.
Okay, go ahead.
Here's a quote from the story. Many people would have simply taken this larger-than-life fortune that he was part of PayPal, sold it, he got $180 million as a result of the sale. Many people would have simply taken this larger-than-life fortune and retired, but not Musk. Instead, he invested $100 million to start SpaceX, $70 million to found Tesla, and $10 million in Solar City.
Yeah.
He did not found Tesla.
No.
Tesla was founded by Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning.
Yeah.
Okay? They built the first Tesla, the Roadster.
Uh-huh.
They got funded. One of the funders was Elon Musk.
Okay. That does not sound like someone who invented anything or founded the company.
As part of his funding, became chair of the board of Tesla.
Sure. Right.
Musk didn't actually run the company. He helped them with product design as chair of the board. And then in 2007, he appointed himself as CEO.
Right.
4 years after he actually invested. What he did was raise them a ton of money and then put himself as the CEO. In fact, Eberhard sued Musk because Musk refused to say he was a founder. Like a big fucking diaper baby. Yes. And they actually had to settle. And the settlement said you have to call Martin Eberhard one of the founders.
That's petty and childish. Yeah.
Isn't it but that is the future of Tesla, right? Like
Yeah.
that's the whole thing. A petty, childish man who was like basically saying like, I'm now the founder.
Yeah.
And that's how he works. He raises money from friends and then lies about what he actually did. He's a big fat fraud, just like the video games. He's rewriting history.
Oh yeah, I wonder where is this article from? It's
which one?
I'm trying to understand who would say that he's the founder of Tesla though. Who didn't do I'm just trying to understand who didn't do their due diligence.
Nobody knows. Like nobody does their due diligence. Right? So like these are aggregated articles. So I hate that. I literally hate it. I hate that nobody looked up. Is he actually the founder of Tesla? We're just taking it as rote.
Yeah. And by the way, it's not unusual that you have executives who they don't usually just take the money and retire. Usually that's what they reinvest it into other things. That's usually what they do. That's not unusual. I don't even know what they're talking about.
I hate it. It makes me
I want to throw that
so
one
unhappy.
out too. I don't want to talk about Elon Musk.
All right, so
Can I vote?
OpenAI blaming China, man flakes who make you like them, United Health, and rewriting history.
Oh, I'll just go with my instinct. I don't want to belabor this. It always gets me. The blaming China thing always rankles me. I gotta pick that one.
Oh, you're gonna go. That's interesting.
Well, tell me where I messed up. Which one got you? Well, you don't like the rewriting history. That's the one that really got me.
I hate the rewriting.
But that's
history.
been going
but
on
that's,
forever.
That's been going on
with
forever.
Elon
so
Musk.
I get that you couldn't make it. This week it would be OpenAI. That would be the correct answer. Because
Yeah, I guess
this is the week they dropped some of the shittiest
Was it this
things
week?
they could drop.
Yeah, you might be right, actually. And also, they're threatening to buy Chrome from Google, which I don't like.
Oh, my God. What a horrible idea.
I'll change my vote and say OpenAI. Let's move on. Come on.
All right, let's move on. Let's do the headlines, winners, predictions.
Oh, we're almost
wrap
out of
this
here,
up.
yeah.
We're almost out of here. Thank God. Nobody wants to hear us anymore.
Headliniest. I have two of them. I'll go first. First of all, here's some good news. And I don't even know if I mean that sarcastically or not. The headline is Mark Zuckerberg's wife, Priscilla Chan, her tuition-free school that championed DEI is closing after 10 years. They're calling this
doesn't sound good.
They're calling this well, I guess that's not what the category is. They're calling this a very difficult decision that came after much deliberation. But the reality is, Matt, is that this whole school champions DEI, and not only did Mark Zuckerberg come out against it, but their foundation came out against DEI. So they're actually closing a tuition-free school just to prove a bigger point.
Fuck you, poor kids.
Right? No. It's not just poor kids. Most importantly, it's people of color. Poor kids, because this is the East Bay and East Palo Alto. So you're right. So that's just I don't know what more there is to say, really.
Did they send the notice to the people of color parents saying if your kid wasn't a person of color, we'd keep the school open.
Yeah. Look in the mirror. If you're brown, sorry, it's over for you.
You're the reason why we're closing.
Yeah.
They should have written that.
Yeah, and so I only mention that because, again, if you're one of these people who still uses things like Instagram, WhatsApp, just do something different. My other headline is of the week: Ralph Lauren's CEO, whose name is Patrice Louvet, says sometimes employees need to be hit by a 2x4 across the forehead to get important feedback to sink in. I like how specific that imagery is there. Not just hit him in the forehead, but with a wooden board, a 2x4. I like that.
Is that a management philosophy?
Well, he's French, so I'm guessing yes. It's still a very strong patriarchal society over there. So I'm guessing there is a board that he probably walks around with, and it's probably a scribe
he
with
didn't
a philosophy.
say hit them in the head with a 6-inch heel. He said, he did say 2x4, patriarchal.
What do you got?
I have two, sticking with the Facebook theme and the meta theme and the Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
One was it's not Facebook, it's Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg pushes its Llama 4 AI model to the right, wants to present both sides.
I mean, wasn't already to the right? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, first question. These AI models, they steal all of the world's copyrighted material that they can, correct?
Yeah.
That's how they train them. If the model comes out and it's progressive or liberal,
which is debatable in the first place. I don't even know what that means. I don't know how they're quantifying that.
Isn't that just a reflection of what you gave it? Like what the world does?
Yes.
So another way to read this headline would be, we wish that people were more conservative, so we're just going to make the model more conservative. Like, he doesn't actually like people's thoughts, right?
Well, they're stealing all the world's data anyway. Why can't they rewrite the data before they steal it and just make it more conservative? Because then we talked about how they illegally downloaded 7 million books from a pirated library. Why can't they go in there? Because 98% of all literature is certainly not conservative. But why can't they go in there and just insert horrible conservative stuff? And
like every time there's a black person in a book, you just replace it with white.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
I like it. I like it. That would be fun with a Toni Morrison novel. That would be a fun exercise.
And second, Zuckerberg encourages theater goers to use their phones while movie is playing.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Why?
Yeah, well,
you're at the fucking movies.
Well, the poor kid, people of color kids that they're not going to have a school. Maybe that can be their education. They can, right?
Is he going to give them the free phones, like the free tuition, so they can pay attention to the phone instead of the movie?
Of course not. But
is there anything you hate more than going to the movies and have some idiot on their phone the whole time, like the light in their face?
Yeah, there's something I hate more than that. It's Mark Zuckerberg.
Ah, okay.
Right. We don't vote on that one. Let's just do it.
I'm gonna vote.
Yeah, you anoint one. You go ahead.
I'm gonna the 2x4 is the winner because all the other Facebook.
It's a
ones
good old-fashioned,
out.
Funny CEO kind of quip. Yeah. I just love that he needed to be a 2x4 because really he could have just said. Employees need to be hit across the forehead. That's already evocative.
It's already a lot. It's already saying a lot. Yeah,
a nice dope slap. But no, he's getting the wooden board out. I like that. Yeah.
Like he's ever touched a 2x4 in his life. Either, right?
Well, maybe he got it from the Home Depot CEO Ted Decker because he's one of the most important CEOs in America now, according to Trump.
Good point.
All right.
All right. Who won the week for you?
Oh, I'm exhausted. That would be. I have to scan down the document. Oh, it would be stoners, Matt.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because
finally someone targeting them.
4 days ago was 420, and also coincided with Easter, and there's a lot of chocolate on Easter, and the story we covered about Twinkies is selling to stoners, and the fact that Subarus, which are mostly driven by stoners, let's be honest, it's like people from New England, right? Where weed is so, it's just legal everywhere. But that, how hard it is when you're really high to kind of figure out these like touch panels and these cars. They have knobs now, like, right? So if they're sweating in a Subaru, they can just turn the AC down.
Twisting things.
They just turn it down with a
volume
knob.
Volume up, volume down. Volume up, volume down.
Yeah, when you're cranking that, like the Fish album, It's so easy now. It's just so easy.
All right. So I have a winner of the week, but I think I need to overwrite it to your winner of the week. They are the winner of the week. That is definitely number one. So I'm just going to take yours. I'm going to agree with you.
I like this. The first time it's ever happened. Yeah.
I'm going to agree with you. Do you got a prediction?
I do. Okay, so in light of the recent Business Roundtable story that we covered, which is actually the story of the week, what they didn't tell you is that that Business Roundtable is going to urge the SEC to adopt an annual meeting rule. Okay, stay with me here. A new rule requiring investors to memorize a unique 40-digit PIN that gains them entry into the meeting room. So they can't even get in unless they memorize a 40, and you can't write it down in a Post-it.
You're not allowed to write it down?
You can't tattoo it on your hand. Nothing. You have to memorize it.
Wow.
40-digit PIN.
That's brilliant. I hope that happens.
But it's not anti-shareholder. It's just
It might be a little woke because it's mathy. It's kind of math related.
Yeah, what do you got?
They're numbers. All right. So I'm going to play myself out with mine.
Good.
My prediction is, I saw this headline: Meta's oversight board rebukes company over policy overhaul.
That's a laugh. Yeah.
The Meta said, actually, the board said, like, all these new changes and balance and no community notes and all that bullshit.
Yeah, it's horrible.
They said, this is horrible. And Meta said they would respond inside 60 days to the oversight board.
Really?
That's what they said.
Yeah.
My prediction is the response will be to shut down the oversight board. That will be the response. They paid for it.
I will say this. Credit Mark Zuckerberg, I suppose, that he picked for his oversight board 40 very impressive world leaders from across the globe, and really it looks kind of woke, kind of DEI-ish.
Super woke.
So now would be the time. There's a lot of black people on that, a lot of people of color, a lot of women. Now might be the time to shut that shit down.
The oversight board is so 2019. Get out of here. That's all we got. That's Hazelnut Rawlis. I'm your analyst, Matt Muscardi. We are Free Float. Come back next week where we're going to have a smattering of shows. It's going to be a little wonky, and then we're going to get back to a regular schedule. Until then, good